Hey guys, Tyler2K here. Today we're doing a complete Movelist breakdown of Armor King. Armor King is a grappler character who was added in the fall DLC of Season 2. He is preceding Meo-IL, who we'll see on later this year. But for the most part, as the name suggests, he is a King character. So he has a full throw kit, but also he's a little bit special because he also is technically a brawler. So for instance, he can perform what's called a Dark Upper, which is a Wind God Fist option. He has a very long range 13. He has a lot of quick options that other characters don't have, while still being able to apply pressure and have that full throw kit at his disposal. So for that alone, a very interesting character. So he was changed in T7, and then originally, wow, I can't remember. He's been in the game for a while. He might be like Tekken 2, where there used to be kind of more clone style characters and they eventually branch off. But Armor King in the storyline, this is Armor King 2. King is also technically King 2. Armor King was King's teacher, but at the same time, Armor King and King 2, Armor King 2, King 2, hate each other. So that's why in this game, they've kind of gone out of their way, Namco, to say that, hey, this guy is a heel. So like you hear the crowd chant Armor King, like, at the wall. He has a special throw where he literally steps on you. So he's a heel. He's the bad guy in your typical storyline sort of thing. So really interesting character. If I was to do a quick 5-minute breakdown of the character, let's go ahead and get into it. So on 10 frame, we have 2-1 at +7. For 12 frame, we have back 1-2, which is +8. 13 frame, as shown, you have that really long range shoulder, which is really good to punish characters like, for instance, Brian. For 14, technically he has Dark Upper, although it is difficult to hit Dark Upper perfectly on that 14. And then for 15, he has your typical hop kick line. So for wall standing, wall stand 4, +5, 11 frame option. For 12, he technically has wall stand 2, although you're probably going to want wall stand 4 because it deals more damage. For 13 frames, he has a brand new option, wall stand 3-1. This is a heat engager, and also by the wall causes wall splat for a full launcher. On 15, he does have hop kick. He also has the brand new wall stand 1, which is now 1 frame quicker on 15. And then another option he has is to go for full crouch and then crouch cancel up for 2-1. The death sandwich option, which technically is his strongest 15 frame punisher outside of standing option with Dark Upper, which would be a little bit better of a launcher. For really big stagger lows, he does also have neutral hop kick for the big boy damage. For his throw game, he has a 2 throw that actually can extend into a tombstone. He has a command tombstone. He has a wall breaker option. He also has a brand new up forward 1+2, which also breaks the floor. And then everyone's favorite GS. So GS in Shining Wizard, if you get the just frame option, gives the blue spark for more damage, harder to react to, so on and so forth. Also similar to King, under the effects of heat mode, his command grapples also have homing properties, and furthermore, as you see there, also regenerates health for me. Now, previously in older Tekken games, or T7 rather, he had Stealth Step, which was down 1+4. Down 1+4 and Stealth Step is now antiquated. Instead, they've added a brand new stance called Bad Jaguar stance. So Bad Jaguar is 4-3+4. A lot of options from the old Stealth Step, like for instance the tackle, the high, are still here. They're a little bit different. Like for instance, the Stealth Step high is a little bit worse because it's no longer counter launcher, but he does have those options. Now, what's interesting about Armor King is he can perform a bad breath attack, which makes it such that the next throw, if you look at the frame data, it says 23. And while our opponent can guard low, he can't actually escape out of throws. That means the throw itself is guaranteed. Also, furthermore, under the heat mode, this turns into a 25 frame option, although still +23 on block. But we have seen that if you are able to successfully parry an incoming attack with BJS, the same thing happens. We get the bad breath instantly, and then we get a guaranteed throw after. Couple things to note. Notice how we are down to 70% scaling. That means these command throws, which normally do, for instance, this move does 53, only does 42, but please note that you cannot escape these throws whatsoever. Now, what's good is on defense, these throws become more valuable. So for our back is to the wall, we can go to a giant swing where the opponent cannot tech and therefore takes bonus damage. If a breakable wall is to our forward, we can go for QCB 1+2, which breaks the wall in front of us. Or if we're in an open field as shown, we can either go for the 2+3 throw or 2+4, which leads to the tombstone, or we can go right away for the command tombstone option And same thing, these are completely inescapable, and furthermore, you cannot duck these. These are truly 100% guaranteed. So when it comes to bad Jaguar stance, you're going to be looking for a few options. Now, I did do a anti-bad Jaguar stance, so top right corner for my bad Jaguar breakdown. We'll go over the options in a little bit, but for the most part, if you want to know how to beat it, that's your go-to option. So from bad Jaguar, because keep in mind, most of the options that we go for bad Jaguar are +8. So for instance, back 1-2, hold forward, 4-4-2, hold forward, all +8. So from this +8 position, there's basically two things you're really looking for. So first of all, bad Jaguar 1 is basically, okay, I think my opponent's going to do anything apart from guard or duck. Otherwise, you essentially get a free attempt with bad Jaguar 2, because luckily bad Jaguar 2 is completely safe on block. There's another layer to it. So similar idea with the bad Jaguar and then, CD 1+2 sort of thing. That +8 can also be used to transition into another guaranteed throw. So if your opponent respects you and you're in heat mode, you can always go for the bad Jaguar forward 1+2, which then gives the bad breath, which then leads to the inescapable throw, rather, where you can possibly do a ton of damage if a wall break or floor break is in play, and then combo immediately after them. For his lows, you're really looking at down 3, down back 3, which is still a counter launcher, instant spin in this game, down back 4, which is kind of like a safer poke because they can guard it, but he falls to the floor. And then, of course, the Big Daddy 4-4 neutral 2, which is +5 normally, but by holding forward, we enter into BGS, and then you have the exact same mix-up. Bad Jaguar 1, Bad Jaguar 2, Bad Jaguar 4, which is a pretty good option as well, which I'll talk about really quickly. Bad Jaguar 4 normally would be very punishable, but it's actually only -13 on block, and it tracks both ways. So having access to a 17-frame low is really good when it comes to applying pressure and beating the options there. Combos are fairly simple. Launcher up 4-3, and then from here, you're going to do 4-3-2 and hold down forward, which will allow you to go into crouch dash. And what the combo looks like is like this. 1, and then we go 4-3-1-2, and then now we can do forward 1+2, which is our strong aerial tailspin state, and still link in our throw. So from bad Jaguar stance against an airborne opponent, we can either go for 1+3, which puts the opponent on our flip side, or we go for 2+4, which is the more damaging option. Please note, though, that the 2+4 does not break the floor, whereas the bad Jaguar stance 1+3 does break the floor. So in certain scenarios, you are going to want to end with that airborne BGS 1+3 to do more damage to extend the combo, so on and so forth. I think that's about it. But yeah, the combos are very simple for him in this game. Again, you're going to be looking just for poking, sidestep 2, 4-4 neutral 2, transitioning, punishing stance options, throw game to complement the rest of his kit, dark upper, so on and so forth. He's a very good poker. He has safe tools like back 4, 1+2, similar to normal king 4-3. And a lot of his game revolves around just knowing your opponent and in having nicer options, like, for instance, the brand new input up back 1+2 side sway. And same thing, under the effects of heat mode, might as well talk about that really quickly. Up back 1 turns into a launcher. Up back 1+2 with the charge then turns into a full launcher. But normally, up back 1+2 is just a knockdown option. I think that's about it for the most part for the quick breakdown of the character. Really good damage, as quite a few other DLC characters are. Also, with the new 4-3 crouch dash, has really good carry too, and we'll show it later on in this video. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the nitty-gritty of the character by starting at the tip top with our options. So as usual, heat mode, chip damage on block. Heat engagers options can be heat dash canceled. The nice thing with Armor King, I think most of his heat engagers are actually heat dash cancel launchers. So he has a few key ones, like for instance BJS 1-2 that isn't, but at the same time that also is a link up of quite a few attacks of his. His heat smash is not super anything to write home to. It is I-17, but the nice thing with it, and actually let's not, we won't talk about it yet, we'll get to it. Okay, so for your heat options, you have up forward 1, up back 1+2, and then he also has down back 2-1, which is a safe plus frame option follow up to down back 2, and we will talk about that shortly. Also, as talked about, he has a scarier version of Poison Mist. What's important to note, though, is unlike Tekken 7, when you perform the Poison Mist, keep in mind you don't need heat to do Poison Mist and have the throw guaranteed. That's brand new. T7 never had that. You had to use the Rage Drive to land it. Now, the only benefit is the speed. So rather than being 35, it becomes 25, but the same thing applies. One other thing of note when it comes to Poison Mist, note how this is an unblockable. So what unblockables mean, obviously you can't block it, but it goes through Sabaki's, parries, reversals, and power crushes more importantly. So here, if Jin tries challenging us, for instance, at negative frames, like for instance back 1-2, we can go for that. That'll be the power crush apart from heat burst, and then get a full throw and or combo potentially, depending on our distance to the wall and floor break, stuff like that. Also, like King, he has homing properties on his throws, and furthermore, most of his throws generate heat back. Keep in mind, though, not every single throw does generate heat. So, for instance, if we go back to this example, if we go for 2+4, the throw is guaranteed, but the 2+4 doesn't generate meter. On the flip side, if we go for a more technical throw, like GS, so like I said, not everyone does it. But yeah, GS will give us heat back. There are a few options, like QCB 1+2, for instance. Same thing does give us heat back, and that's also, again, a wall break to your opponent's back. So, better than nothing. The main key, of course, is the tracking throws. You know, the Shining Wizard, QCB 1+2, and then GS also having tracking. And being a 10-framer on the GS is really, really important. Okay, his Heat Burst, your typical I-16, spike into the floor, +2 on hit, +1 on block. Nothing to write home about. And then, of course, you can cancel it by tapping double back. As the game notes, we can perform the Heat Burst during Bad Jaguar stance, which allows us to do combo extensions. So, for instance, we'll do an easy combo, and now meter pop, and then still be able to link in the strong aerial tailspin into a throw. That also, furthermore, under certain scenarios, like for instance, if you're under the effects of rage, allows you to link in a full combo. And I already forgot my combo. Okay. Meter pop. And then do our rage art. And that still fully links because this luckily is your typical strong aerial tailspin, which is +23. So perfect frame data to hit that. 4+2 is your go-to strong aerial tailspin. And then furthermore, because you can transition to BJS, you should do it. Now, the reason you should do it, though, is if you don't notice, this 4+2 actually has a lot of pushback. With this little hit decay, it doesn't look that bad, but the longer the combo, the worse it is. So by doing the Bad Jaguar stance, meter, we step in and then do the Heat Burst, meaning it doesn't cause it to whiff. Now, the nice thing with Rage Art, you don't have to worry about it because like the pushback is negligible for the Rage Art because it has so much range. But when it comes to your combo extensions, there are certain combos where you cannot actually link forward 1+2 into 2+4 simply because there's so much pushback. And I'm not even talking about 3 strong aerials in a combo. I mean, if you get up to 12 hits in your combo, you can't link in forward 1+2 into 2+4. Now, the good news, you can still do forward 1+2 into 5, forward 1+2 into 6 for your Rage Art. That's it, though. But luckily, I think most people aren't going to run into that physical limitation, but it is there. Okay, forward 2-1, I-15, just like normal King. This is a heat engager. More importantly, it's also a heat dash cancel launcher. This is I-15, super good range. And like, look at this carry. Like, look how far. Like, keep in mind, this is the second largest stage in the game, right? And it's super easy. And actually, he has like a forward 1+4 combo, stuff like that. Really, really silly stuff. The nice thing with forward 1+2 is that he has a shove similar to normal King, back 1+2, that does guarantee forward 2-1, assuming you don't mess up, which allows us to link in. Also, furthermore, similar idea, the shove into forward 2-1 heat dash cancel is also further guaranteed at the same time. So this is your go-to I-15 if you need really, really good range. Heat engager is nice. Now, also like King, he does kind of push you towards the ground. But yeah, you can no longer use forward 2-1 for carry. It's not going to be consistent unless you're right next to the wall. The nice thing is you have better options nowadays. But for the most part, that's going to be your I-15. So you cannot confirm it. Under counter hit, maybe. Let's take a look. Okay, so under counter it can confirm it. But keep in mind, obviously this is a mid-high. So non-jailing, they can duck it otherwise. So just please keep that in note. Okay, 4-4 used to be his wall bounce, but because wall bounces are gone in Tekken 7, they have now changed the input or changed the option to now be a heat engager. Now, the nice thing with 4-4 is unlike Tekken 7, where this used to be at 14, this is now completely safe on block. Also, at -8, it still does have a little bit of pushback, where your opponent might try to go for a 10-framer, and it simply can't reach you. So, depending on certain matchups, you can probably fish with 444 period, and then let your opponent kind of hang themselves there. So, similar to 421, 444 is also a launching heat dash cancel. Both of those options are plus 26. I was a little bit late, but both 421 and 444 are both plus 26 heat dash cancel options. But yeah, being safe on block is nice. Also, okay, I'm just gonna do it really faster again. So we're gonna 5, and now I want to do 444. Okay, yeah, that's probably not going to proper splat. I was hoping it would be similar to like Lucky Chloe 443, but no, it's not like that. But that's okay. The fact it's completely safe on block now is so good. And same thing, it's also heat engage or heat dash cancel launcher too. Okay, so wall stand 3-1, as we talked about, is his I-13 option. Two nice things. So first of all, the wall stand 3 by itself is completely safe on block. So that alone is good. It's also knee, so that means you cannot sabaki it, reverse it, so on and so forth. So if you're playing against Asuka, yeah, you can let the wall stand 3-1 sort of rock if you want to let it go. So pretty good option. Now, the nice thing with it, because this is out of wall stand 3, and as I talked about, he's effectively a Mishima character. So Waivu, wall stand 4. Similarly, we can Waivu into wall stand 3. And it's going to be hard to see here, but we can like buffer the input and give the wall stand 3 insane amounts of range. Also, what's nice is because it's a 2-hit heat engager, double unscaled, that means you have a long range I-13 out of crouch dash, which is, I think, only -13 on block, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I mean, pretty good. So this effectively works as a 4-2-1 out of crouch dash to have access to the Waivu wall stand 3 one. Like, that's incredible amount of pushback and range for a knee option, and also against an airborne opponent. Let's go open field. Against an open field opponent, it still gives you carry. So if you're by a wall and you hit the midair, you're still going to get some carry. You might get the wall splat afterwards. So this move, the fact it can be performed out of crouch dash is incredible. Like, this is such a good move to add to his kit, especially when you mix in like neutral 2 off of crouch dash sort of thing. The ability to buffer multiple inputs during the crouch dash state, and then also furthermore having, again, this super long range option. Now, of course, it causes a flop state, so you're not going to get a launcher, but still, the fact that you can do that is crazy. Like, super good to have access to that. And again, it is a mid, so you don't have to worry about them recovering an FC off of dark upper. Similar idea. So good. Easily probably one of his best moves. Okay, Bad Jaguar 1-2 is a 11 frame high. Now, you can't really appreciate it here, but what the idea is under certain effects, and it's hard to space out because it's also a launcher. So under certain effects, you're left at +11 into BJS, which then allows for you to go for BGS 1-2, and same thing, heat dash cancel into running option. So actually, come to think of it, let's go ahead and talk about the heat dash cancels, which I should have talked about earlier. So BGS 1-2, again, puts you into a flop state. So these are your go-to options. So running 3 is the most damaging option he has. You can also go for forward 1+4, which is super consistent. Now, the nice thing, if you notice there, we did 54 damage versus 56. So if you need to end the round and the opponent has like no health, yeah, don't go for the running 3, like, because I messed up earlier. Just go for the shoulder instead. Like, this is still guaranteed. And you only do 2 less damage, and you're never going to miss it. He also has one other key option, which is the People's Elbow, which does less damage, so it does 53 instead of 54. But the nice thing there, in case you don't see it, instead of us pushing the opponent away with no Oki, the difference here is the Bad Jaguar 1-2 into People's Elbow is +2. So our opponent's left closer to us. We're technically plus, and keep in mind we have like 12 frame down forward 4 on the table to challenge immediately, right? But yeah, they're left close to us. We only do 1 less point of damage, and then also we have Oki. That's a massive thing. Apart from that, of course, heat dash cancel for the other moves are all full launchers. Hey guys, editor Tyler here. There's actually a more damaging option than running 3, and that is heat dash cancel down 4 for 3+4. And also, it's like infinitely easier to hit than a running 3. So he has a crouch throw down 2+4. Please note that down 2+4, while it is a heat engager, has no additional properties, so you can't heat dash cancel it. The good news with all of the crouch throws, inescapable, so if you grab them, this is a 12 frame option, so that's a 12 frame low. So that's better than wall stand 2 on 12, of course, right? But the opponent has to be left in FC. It gives us heat engager, and then furthermore, when we are under the effects of heat, we'll also regenerate our heat mode option. Now, if you want to break the floor, he does have down 1+3 that doesn't give heat, but we'll get to that later. That's your go-to. And then, okay, so this is not a heat engager, but he does have a few heat mode attacks. So, for instance, down back 2-1 is a natural hit wall splatting launcher option if you're by the wall. In an open field situation on block, it's +3, so it's actually a really good option. Also, this starts with down back 2, which is 14. So you have this like pretty low range, low hitting mid check option into a completely guaranteed, heat mode option. Just keep in mind it does cost you meter. It looks like it costs you about 4 seconds. So not horrible, not great, but it's okay. It's nice to have this, especially if you're by a wall and you want to fish for it. The one you're probably going to see more often, though, is up back 1. So normally up back 1 causes knockdown for ground hitting effect. Under the effects of heat mode, though, it becomes a crumple stun launcher. And ice, plus 60 is crazy. So CD4, install stand 4 lines, big stuff like that. Anything you want to go for. And then furthermore, it still maintains the tracking, the homing sprite high. Now, on block, and let me go ahead and put this on because it's a little bit on the slower end. On block, it's +5. Under the effects of heat mode, it actually goes into +8. Furthermore, similar to like back 1-2 and 4 for Niche 2, we can also transition into BGS at that +8, where same thing, you can again apply your pressure option at that +8. Also, furthermore, because you're already under the effects of heat mode, that means that BGS 1-2 not only is a heat dash cancel option, but because there's no frames, there's no frames to low parry, sabaki, anything, the opponent just has to guard it / duck it. So it's actually pretty good for opponents who are very closed up. And then similarly, again, we can also go for BGS 1+4, 1+2 to give our unblockable state. So that move alone is super, super good. And then furthermore, you can still do BGS 2-3, which is like your spin extension, but we'll get to that later. Okay, up back 1+2. 2 things of note. So under the effects of heat mode, the BGS up back 1+2 is a red spark attack. So without heat, this is also a red spark. So red spark means you can't reverse it, you can't parry it, so on and so forth. You can power crush it, that's the only thing that beats it, but this beats all defensive options otherwise. This is also his old back 1+4 side sway. Now you don't have to necessarily charge it. You can still side sway, still hyper evasive, still guarantees a shoulder. Now the bad news, actually, let's not talk about it yet. Under the effects of heat mode, the difference is that the up back 1+2 charge not only has the red spark effect, but it also causes instant tornado spin afterwards. So pretty good damage. You have the side sway. And then furthermore, under heat, we have the benefit of it actually being +8, which is pretty good, especially when you consider at that range, your heat smash is effectively a guaranteed option unless they have rage. So that's nice as well. We'll talk more about the heat theory in a little bit. But yeah, the fact that it goes from on block, let's see, even without charge? Okay, no, so still with heat mode, it's still 14. But let's see, on block normally, okay, +0. So yeah, we go from +0 to +8. So that's a massive difference. And then, of course, the big boy difference is that instead of giving us a flop, you guarantee a full combo, which is pretty good on a side sway that's +8. Okay, and then I believe this is the last option. So out of Bad Jaguar stance, he normally has Bad Jaguar 3. The difference here, though, is we have an extension to BGS 3, which is BGS 3-2. So not only is BGS 3-2 NC wall splat, but if by some chance your opponent guards it, you're +5. So +5 option. Now, as the game notes, though, this is strong sidestep to your opponent's right. The difference is, though, if your opponent even sidewalks to the left, the 3 misses. The same is true for the full route. Yeah, it completely misses by a simple sidestep. The good news, though, is that the BGS 3 does completely track to Armor King's left, so you cannot step it that way whatsoever. But yeah, the +5 is nice, and we'll talk about same thing, heat mode theory in a little bit once we get to it. Yeah, okay, how could I forget the most important one? Yeah, so again, I-35 option, guaranteeing a throw. The 25 becomes significantly scarier because, yeah, 10 frames faster, significantly harder to react to. Because keep in mind, during this crouch dash animation, he's starting from a crouch, so you're not reacting to the unblockable. You're trying to react to the whole thing, but because he starts from crouching, it's more like a 20 frame high than a 25 frame high. So it's right on the cusp of seeable. But of course, again, this is unblockable. Similarly, under the effects of BGS, the forward on +2 is just simply faster. As the game states, though, you cannot KO the opponent, but at that same time, 2+4 is guaranteed. And you'll never drop this input, so you're always guaranteeing at least 36 damage to finish the round out. But yeah, of course, the Bad Breath itself cannot do lethal damage. And then finally, we have the Heat Engager, which is I-17. By the wall. Causes wall break, but does not cause a wall splat or, for full launcher. Now, the nice thing with this option, even though it's a little bit on the slower end, on block, this is +9, and +9 is a huge number because at +9, if your opponent tries to go for a crush option, for instance, Giant Swing on 10 cannot be effectively low crushed or high crushed because there's no frames to crush it. You can technically duck jab it, but that's a conversation for a different day. But yeah, +9 is nice. The reason being, if you think they're going to duck, well, we also have back 4, 1+2, which is furthermore completely safe on block. So it's a 50-50 basically between the GS line, for instance, if you think they're going to mash, or the back 4, which again is completely safe on block and effectively inescapable. So nice options there with fairly low risk, all things considered. So it's pretty good. The only issue, of course, it's not a full wall splat launcher, which would probably take it to the next limit if that was the case. But luckily, they're starting to fade away from that. Okay, the Rage Art is another kind of wrestling motif similar to King. He ends you with a big like atomic drop, and then he has the little taunt at the end, but there's no bonus damage. So what you see is what you get. I think this is like a 2-hit combo, if I remember correctly. So yeah, you're not going to get any surprise damage. Don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, it's still going to do 55. You don't have to worry about it. And also, actually, technically, because it's only 2 hits, it will do more damage depending on the combo length. But still, it's going to be your typical Rage Art, 55 damage. With no health, it's going to do 86, I think it is, whatever it is, sort of thing. But yeah, it's just your typical Rage Art, Red Light Destruction. Okay, 1-2, nothing to really write home about, your +6 option. If you want a 10-frame Punisher, it's typically better to go for 2-1, which is +7 and does 25 damage versus 15. Now, the nice thing with forward 1-2 is you can forward buffer it to give it more range. So if you need a long range 10, you just do forward 1-2 and that comes out on 10. Versus forward 2-1, right? That's not a thing. So 2-1 requires the opponent to be right on your shit. Otherwise, forward 2-1 will give you a little bit extra range that 2-1 itself does not have. So that's the main benefit of it. Now, he has a 1-2-1, but I have to caution you about this move. So 1-2-1 has always been there. It's a move he's had forever. The second hit or third hit on counter hit does guarantee a 10 option. So like 2-1 guaranteed there. But the issue is you can sidestep to the right and then launch accordingly. Both Armor King and King have that problem. Editor Tyler here. For some reason, Armor King's 1-2-1 actually does track in Tekken 8. My guess is probably an oversight / a bug, which will be fixed in the future, but as of now, it fully tracks. Although, interestingly enough, if you do 1-2 delay 1, the opponent is able to sidestep it to the right, just like King's. Now they've added 1-2-1, but instead of going for the third hit, he now cancels into Bad Jaguar. But if you notice there, we're doing 1-2, which would normally be +6, but we're canceling the third hit and now leaving ourselves at like -11 to -12. So from Bad Jaguar at -11, well, you don't have very many options to go for. So I don't know where you'd really place this option. It's going to be gimmicks, but just honestly forget about this move that exists. Okay, so 2-1 +3. What's important to note, or sorry, +7. What's important to note is that we are -3 on block. But on hit, because we're +7, that means we can simply go for another 2-1 again. So that's your classic king infinite sort of option, where if your opponent wants to challenge you, yeah, you can just keep doing it until they learn their lesson. But yeah, there's simply no frames. So we're going to key charge into duck jab, right? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, there's no frames. No frames to parry. No frames to do anything. Yeah, as soon as you block the 2-1, just your turn is over as defender. With Armor King, though, again, we can apply this +7 very well. So +7, we can go for blue, the GS on 10-frame option. Similar idea. Beating Power Crush, we can go for throw. We can do the +7 to hop kick that properly challenge as well if we think our opponent is going to mash in that sort of position. 2-1 is really good. A lot of damage. Your opponent's going to respect that quick if they have never learned their lesson. That's a hard-learned lesson if you've never played against a king before. You're like, yeah, I should probably stop mashing here. Really, really good. Okay, so 3-4-1 is a replacement to the old forward 3-4-3. The issue, though, here with this move is that the 3-4-1 is not actually NC. So unlike forward 3-4-3, which is a hit confirmable wall splat, this does not have that property. So keep that in mind. Now, two things. So as the game states, this has good tracking to his right. So there is tracking, like strong tracking that way. Or sorry, his left, your right. But there is also one other secret. So as talked about, the 3-4-1 is not guaranteed. But if you get counter hit on the second hit, there is time to confirm it and still link in the option. Now, the good news is unlike forward 3-4-3, which was a high and therefore launch punishable, 3-4-1 at worst is only -13. So it's not even that bad on block. Now, the problem with this final hit is that you're... Okay, well, not that. 'Cause, God, the range, of course, is really good. God, the range is really, really good. But yeah, it's not bad, all things considered, because, again, there is no bonus counter hit. Wow, God, that range is crazy. But yeah, the fact you can hit confirm is really nice. But yeah, the final hit does not have any bonus properties. Yeah, it's just going to cause your typical knockdown. Of course, by the wall, you will get a wall splat. But yeah, the benefit is the fact you can confirm the second hit into third hit. Counter hit only. Keep in mind, counter hit only. You cannot do natural hit. If it had natural hit, it'd probably be really, really strong. But yeah, you can confirm it. And worst of all, if you misconfirm it, you're only -13. It's not the worst thing in the world. So as talked about in the note there, 3-4-1 can be canceled by holding back. As far as I know, I don't think there's any benefit here. I mean, -2 is not bad. Let's see on block. Probably like -16. -14. Okay, not that bad. So yeah, you have a little bit of shenanigans, but the real mix-up was the fact that there was a high. Now that it's a mid mix-up, there's not really anything to worry about here. Apart from, at the wall, where you're going to have to worry about incoming pressure. But same thing, not being NCC, it could be worse. But the nice thing, though, is, yeah, you can hit confirm second hit into third hit on counter hit. Speaking of which, 4-3 is a brand new move, and this one kind of blows my mind that Namco had added that. Keep in mind, back 1-2, this move used to be like +2. They made it +6, and then in this game, they made it +8. Right, so you have a 12 frame that's +8. Furthermore, back 1-2 can also transition into BGS by holding forward. So you're +8 into BGS and 32 damage. So them adding another Punisher, now granted this is 4-3 is 13, not 12. Adding another Punisher, like same thing, to get rid of back 1-2 or shoulder, 4-3 is like a crazy addition to the game. As you see there, 35 damage, so a ton of damage for a 13 frame option. 13 frame is like typically your hop kicks, so on and so forth, things like that. But yeah, second of all, you can cancel it. Now, what's interesting, is this the one I'm thinking of? Okay, so two things. So you can kind of confirm this. The reason you can kind of confirm this is because you're holding back to cancel the input. So while you can't do 4-3 and link it, right? You can do 4-3, and then if you see the block, you could guard it. It's really difficult for the most part. You probably have to be really young to do this. This is similar to what Deviljin used to have. Well, technically, I guess Deviljin still has it with back 1-2 into cancel. If you're able to hit confirm Deviljin option, you could confirm this one. So to talk about the downsides of trying to confirm it, on block, it's +0, so that's actually really good. If we cancel it, we're -16. So similar to Deviljin back 1-2, if you read the cancels coming through, you could always just hop kick it to challenge it. Like even on hit, right? Okay, hit -5, but not bad. So the other major benefit of 4-3 is that it actually kind of has Magic 4 properties. So on counter hit, it puts the opponent into a flop state. Editor Tyler here. Counter hit 4-3 actually guarantees 4-3-2 combos, allowing for it to be a full launcher and dealing a ton of damage. This is basically Claudio 4-3, except harder to confirm because, again, instead of tapping the 3, we're canceling the 3 to make it safe on block, sort of thing. Second property, which is going to be difficult to link, 4-3 by itself does put you into an immediate flop state on counter hit. Please note this is counter hit only. On second hit, you're going to take that -9 again. But counter hit putting into flop where crouch throw is guaranteed and your opponent has to guess a 50-50 on that wake up position. I think even like down 3+4 is guaranteed. But that's going to be about it. The Oki is going to be the preferable part of it. But yeah, for the most part, I think having the 13-frame Punisher is going to be the main benefit. Because yeah, 35 damage and +9 is fairly killer. Okay, 1+2, 2. Still acts as filler in this game. But for the most part, it's just going to be a mix-up. So 1+2, 2, and the next move, 1+2, 4, are both NC options. So 1+2, 2 puts into a knockdown state at +16, where same thing, we get a crouch throw, and your opponent has to guess which one's coming out. Whereas the 1+2, 4, oh, interesting. 1+2, 4 on counter hit has a little bit better properties, causing a crumple stun state, whereas 1+2, 2 doesn't have any extra bonus. It's always going to cause that natural hit knockdown sort of thing. Although, keep in mind, this 1+2 itself is 17. So, of course, at 17, if you're trying to think of it as a Punisher, hop kick, dark upper, 4-2-1, you have a million other better options that are better for punishing in that position. But yeah, the mix-up is decent. I think technically there's a 2-frame window. Okay, you can't fuzzy it. It's just a guess. I-18 high, I-19 mid. Simply no frames to win there. Although the 1+2 leading into BT is also pretty good as well, to add a little bit of a mix-up onto it. Now, the nice thing on block, 1+2, 4 is only -13, while still being that counter launcher. And then on block, 1+2, 2 is completely safe. Better than safe, I guess, -3 with pushback, so decent option. Okay, 3+4 is his old wheel kick option. Now, in this game, he has 3+4 hold, which is an attack throw. Or sorry, it's a real throw, not an attack throw. You have to duck this. He has 3+4, 1, which is a brand new option. 3+4, 2, and then finally 3+4, 1+2. So everything is the same except for 3+4, 1. So first things first, let's go ahead and talk about all the options. So 3+4 by itself is a really good advancing option. It is completely safe on block, although completely safe in air quotes because you're -7 in back churn. So are you safe? Sort of thing. But there is decent play around that if you're able to control the range. Because again, the range on this move is really good. So there you see we're hitting later active frames where the 3+4 goes from -7 to like -2, mathematically even -0 in certain scenarios. Now, also out of back turn, we can also perform it BT like it says. So we can actually 3+4 away. So we could show 3+4 and then go the other direction and then like flop away from them. So it's like, hey, a little bit of a taunt line, can't catch me sort of shit here. Nah. So the 3+4 hold is the main attack throw, or sorry, again, normal throw. So by holding the input, we do a break option. So look at the yellow there. And we break the floor, leading to launcher on certain stages. Otherwise, as talked about, because this is a high, yeah. Okay, so that's the game. Yeah, not trying to crouch. There you go. You just duck under it, you launch, Armor King for going for it. Now, the reason why you wouldn't want to duck, though, is he has two primary options. So the original one, which we'll talk about first, is 3 plus 4, 2. Completely NCC option. Now, it isn't safe, but similar to what we had talked about earlier, it leaves on the ground position. So steel pedal is the only thing really guaranteed here. By the wall, we do get the splat, but yeah, we don't actually get a full launcher. So a little bit of an antiquated attack. It's mostly just high-flying shenanigans. You want to look cool while you're doing a taunt kill sort of stuff. It's perfectly fine for that, and as talked about, the range on it is pretty good for something that's not super punishable. Also, the fact it's a double mid, it could be worse. Now, I am seeing that it does break the wall, so I guess on a wall break, you would probably get a small combo here guaranteed. But normal scenarios, you don't. Now, the brand new option is 3 plus 4, 1. Now, 3 plus 4, 1 is NC option, plus 8 on hit. Now, on counter hit, the second hit, unfortunately, well, oh, that range, yeah, so good. The second hit doesn't actually do anything. It's still going to be plus 8. Also, furthermore, by the wall, this is not a wall splat. It's just going to be a clean plus 8. So the difference here is you can hold forward to go into BGS. And same thing, you can just do simple 3 plus 4 by itself. So there are combos where the 3 plus 4, 1 is a thing. To be honest, probably pretty rare. Like, that's going to be about it off of 442. Because keep in mind, the 3 plus 4 itself is 25. So it's a little bit more on the slow end to link in a combo. But yeah, off of 442 specifically, that's there. Okay, and then the most disappointing one is 3 plus 4, 1 plus 2. Not only is it not NC, it's also still not NCC. Now, the good news, if you notice, on block, it is plus 0. So from plus 0, we can, tap up wall stand 4, so on and so forth, wall stand 3, if you want to fish, so on and so forth. You recover on ground position. Just keep in mind, it's just gimmicks, and worst of all, if you hit the opponent and they have no health and you didn't go for 3 plus 4, 2, you're going to be regretting it, because I know I always regret it. So, yeah, it does have a position change throw on successful hit, although the throw only can exist when it's forward facing. So that's about it. Position change, it's just gimmicks. Forget this move exists, sort of thing. Okay, as we talked about already, 421 super long range I-15 option. I believe it starts with an elbow like the name suggests. So I don't think you can reverse it. Okay, so yeah, that's definitely an elbow. So no reversal, no sabaki. Jin can, of course, parry it. So you can still power crush it, so on and so forth. But yeah, no reversal, so a better option against, like, Asuka, June, stuff like that. But yeah, of course, again, heat dash cancel, full launcher. the carry is crazy, I'm sorry. It's just funny as hell. But yeah, also pretty good. Also, because this is a double hit, 37 damage is nothing to sneeze at. And then also, because you're front loading with 37, which does more damage than like 4 for 4, I believe, on 25. Yeah, you're doing like significantly more damage in your mid combo. And same thing, even though 4 for 4 is safe, the range on 4-2 is pretty fucking good. So as soon as they whiff anything at like range 2, bam, launch your ass. So pretty good option indeed. Okay, 4-3-1-2, or sorry, 4-3-2-1, I believe does work at the wall. Let's go ahead and test that. You can also, as talked about, hold down forward to transition into crouch dash, or B-step, which is a funny name. Also by the wall, similar idea. We can also end with B-step option, like B-step 4, to put him into a flip state, so on and so forth. So you don't get the nice running effect of normal king with his 3-2-2s and stuff like that, but still, it's kind of like a pseudo version of it. Now, the good news, 4-3-2 is not that negative on block. If you finish the string, it is... Okay, so first of all, it's not fully NC. So this is minus 13. The final hit on... Oh, not even counter hit. On normal... Oh, actually, I take it back. My bad, I forgot. So final hit puts you into a flop state, where you can go for a grounded hit. Throw wouldn't be guaranteed there. And then I guess on counter hit, the 4-3-2-1 is on the table. Now, not NCC from the first hit. Is NCC, of course, from the second hit. But I think, for the most part, the 4-3-2-1 is just there to punish your opponent if they want to try to interrupt your crouch dash input sort of thing. So that's just there. Hey, you want to challenge this? Okay, you want to punish the minus 11? Well, you're risking your life by trying to challenge it. An instant tornado spin, right? You guessed incorrectly. Now you have to take incoming, and now I got a full combo against you. But for the most part, yeah, this is going to be your go-to filler. One. I mean, you can, like, honestly, you can just do this for, like, normal good carry. It kind of reminds me of, like old Dragunov 3-1 lines. Because, yeah, it's so much carry, and Armor King was never a character about carry, so. Oh, yeah, and then, of course, in case it wasn't obvious, sorry, my apologies, final thing. Against airborne opponent, the 4-3-2-1 does cause your tornado spin. So it would be CD1 and then do your full root, and then, you know, again, forward 1+2, strong aerial tail spin into throw, so on and so forth. But yeah, that's going to be your airborne spin state for the most part. You can also link in the B-Step 4. Keep in mind, CD4 and forward 3-2-1 do the same damage. The difference, though, is because you're transitioning into stance, and the attack itself doesn't have nearly as much range. There are situations where the B-Step 4 lines miss, whereas the non-B-Step 4-3-2-1 always hits. So keep that in mind. Most likely you're going to want to use the Dark Tide combo for your actual combos. Okay, forward 4, plus 12 option. He has a few of these, down forward 1-2, and the forward 4 causes a ground spike effect. And then +7 natural hit, and then +3 on block. Yeah, decent option. Of course, the problem here is you no longer get the stomps, but it's, you know, better than nothing that you at least get that choice between the ground-breaking throw or the heat engager variation with down 2+4. So the nice thing, you get to choose which one you do. Just keep in mind, both options do identical damage with your crouch throws. Okay, forward 1+2 is a really, really interesting attack. So, as we've talked about, for the most part, you're going to be using this as strong aerial tailspin, where you link in your BGS 2+4 to end your combos. And as we also talked about, you can do this multiple times, because again, as long as you can keep doing a strong aerial tailspin, you can keep linking in it and still get your Rage Art afterwards. So it is a power crush. But something I did notice, and this might be wrong, so on block, this move doesn't track. But at +8, this move tracks both ways, which is crazy to me. So not only that, if you notice, we're +22. So of course, nothing is truly guaranteed. But, the difference is because we can hold forward and enter into stance, all of a sudden, we are now +26 into stance, where we can go for our mix-up. +26 should be ringing some alarm bells to you guys. So keep in mind, first things first, this is a G. So like for instance, we can't go for 2-3 and link in BGS 2-3, right? But at +26, that means we can go for our throw, or sorry, unblockable at 25. Keep in mind, of course, this is a G, so that means that you're allowed to stand guard or crouch guard. So technically, sorry, my bad. Technically, even on hit, you can still duck this. You can still duck it. So there is still time to duck it, even though you're +26 and the unblockable is 25. It's a guard state. The issue is you're ducking at minus frames, which then leaves you susceptible to like BGS 2-3 if you're by a wall, which would be a launcher, so on and so forth, right? So there's really, really nasty forced mix-up off of that +26 state because, again, there's simply no frames to do anything. To be honest, it really wouldn't matter too much anyway if it was like +25, +24. But yeah, +26 is just like icing in the cake. So with that being said, I have to give you the big disclaimer here. So because you're +26, that means the opponent literally cannot attack us, right? The opponent cannot attack whatsoever. Let's go ahead and just show this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do key charge, and we'll just do down 4. This down 4 should OS into full crouch down 4. So same thing. So there you go. See? Even though we're +26 and our Jin opponent is mashing, we simply don't have frames to counter hit with an option like BGS 4. So because they're 26, R4 hits on 17. There's literally no frames for our opponent to mash out and get hit by anything. So that means what you're going to want to do at plus 26 are moves that are naturally strong in that position. So instead of going for BGS 4, which I guess technically minus 13, so it's safer if you have to do like 5 damage to your opponent. Or, oh shit, 23 damage, pretty good. If your opponent always has like 15 health, well yeah, go for BGS 4. But it's better to go for a mix-up between BGS forward 1 plus 2 on 25, which then would guarantee our throws, or BGS 2-3 and 2-4, stuff like that. And the nice thing, actually, BGS 2-4 can kind of be hit confirmed as well. So it's better to go for an immediate 50-50 that has real value than try to go for something that's non-existent. Like, for instance, you don't want to go for BGS 1 because at that point, he can duck the high. He's going to duck the unblockable, so you might as well go for the unblockable because the value is better. And same thing, there's no frames for them to mash and get hit. By your 1, it's literally never going to work. I did have the top right corner for like heat engager theory from like plus 17 days. The game is definitely different from then, but in this situation, that math is identical. So better to go for, again, BGS 2-3 or BGS forward 1 plus 2. Or hell, even at 27, now that I actually say it out loud. So he does have one more option. That's BGS 1 plus 2. Oh, okay, that's 26. My bad. I thought this was 27, 28, not 26. Okay, it doesn't matter. But yeah, you do have that. So same idea. Power crush, overhead, you duck. Uh-oh. Crouch throw guaranteed. And now I have heat engager, and now we have the whole situation again. Uh-oh. All right, you know, how quickly the game kind of steamrolls. So, okay, you do have BGS 1 plus 2. The problem is you don't have the value of the counter hit, which was the point I was trying to get at. But yeah, I would recommend going for either forward 1 plus 2 or BGS 2. Just do a mix-up between those two. Don't do anything else. There is one last thing. If we hold stance, it turns into a 26. Now, if we are under the effects of heat mode, that means Bad Jaguar 3-2 is completely a perfect frame trap in the sense if your opponent ducks it, they get hit. But if they don't duck it, they're still left at -5. So by the wall, similar idea. Let's say our opponent thinks it's coming. So he's going to duck. And now he ducks into it, and we get a full launcher. And then furthermore, again, if he doesn't duck it, we're left at +5. And then best of all, right? Best of all, it's completely inescapable. No low parry, no sabakis, no parries. If they guess low, they get launched. And then if they don't guess low, we're still plus frames. So it's really, really nasty to have this +26 mix-up with the 25 high to mix up also with the 3-2 to complement the kit. So that is crazy, crazy, crazy. Okay, shoulder. As we talked about, probably the best 13 in the game. That's not like perfect electric because the range on this move's absurd. Even moves like Brian 3+4, which are -13, both big pushback, can be punished by Armor King. He's like the only character in the game who has the range to punish that. So any 13 -13, it's realistically going to be shoulderable by Armor King. Characters wish they had this move. And then furthermore, it also still causes wall splat. It is, of course, death on block, -19. But the punish strength on this move is just super, 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 super good. And then furthermore, I guess it's a little bit more antiquated now, but you could go with like shoulder combos. Those are still a thing. It's just the newer combos are probably better. So don't worry about it. But as a Punisher, it's incredible. And then also of course, as a shoulder, you can't reverse it, sabaki it. So if you have the read, like your Asuka opponent wants to go for reversal, yeah, you can just challenge it with the shoulder. And not only win if she mashes, try and fish for counter hit, but also if they go for sabaki reversal, so on and so forth, your shoulders can go through it. And then you'll instantly win. Okay, down forward 1-2 is a brand new move in this game. Now, first things first, we should just quickly talk about down forward 1. So the problem with down forward 1 is in this game, it's -3. Now, he does have the mix-up to it. But the problem with down forward 1, and let's see, I haven't really tested it. Okay, let's put him on guard. Is, yeah, I don't think it has, like, any tracking. Okay, easy sidestep that way. Yeah, there's 0 tracking now. And you might think to yourself, okay, well, that's not good, but it's not bad. Here's the other problem. It often, during combos, just phantom falls out. because it has no tracking, if you're just even slightly off axis with a down forward 1, they're going to fall out of the combo. And I can tell you from being like a long time Armor King player, so frustrating to deal with, to have the down forward 1 phantom whiff just because you're slightly off axis. So if you have muscle memory from older games, forget about down forward 1 combos. The sooner you forget about it, the easier it's going to be, because not only do those combos really not exist anymore because down 3+4 1 is no longer a spin, but yeah, it's the weird tracking issues mid combo. It's really, 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 really bad. So here's the good news. Against an airborne opponent, down forward 1-2 is a spin. So if you need to spin the opponent and don't know what to do, you can link in down forward 1-2 fairly easily. Second thing of note is that while down forward 1-2 is not NC, it is safe on block, right? Duck to high. But if they get hit by the second hit, we're left at +12. Now, of course, at +12, that means our crouch throw is guaranteed. Again, heat engager, or depending on the stage, if you have a breakable floor beneath you, yeah, you can go for the floor break crouch throw instead. So under certain scenarios, this move becomes definitely better. But yeah, the tracking on it is so horrendous. And like I said, the sooner you forget about down forward 1 combos, the better you're gonna be. Because I was trying to practice with some combos and just little micro adjustment problems. It's like, oh my god, this is so frustrating to deal with. Super annoying. Okay, down forward 2 lost its homing properties. +4 on hit. On block, it is -12, so it is punishable. So it does guarantee a counter option. So the one I just know right away is the old one from like Tekken 7. 3, sidestep left into Shining Wizard. That still works. That's like the same combo from Tekken 7. He probably has a better variation on this. But yeah, +22, you're probably going to have to go for a down 3+4 route. So 3, maybe CD1. I don't know. I haven't experimented with it, but that is still there. The big difference, though, of course, is that the homing property is gone. Now, he does have an extension, which is down forward 2-1. So let's say your opponent wants to try to punish the down forward 2, right? -12. Well, you can go for the high, which interrupts the punish attempt. And as you see there, it's +0 on block. The good news, though, first of all, we can, first of all, the thing is NCC. So if you counter hit and hold forward, you transition to BGS. On block, same thing, +0. But the second hit on counter hit is a +11. So as we showed earlier, that means BGS 1-2 is NC, and similar idea. Heat engager, wall splat, full launcher, you know, Bob's your uncle sort of stuff. So decently good. That's going to be your go-to link at +11. Now, with that being said, let's say you don't want the value of the BGS option. Technically, at certain ranges, same thing. We go from +11, so 2-1. And then at tip range, though, back 1-2 is guaranteed. And similar thing, back 1-2 can lead to BGS at +8, which is also pretty good. But I think for the most part, you're probably want to kind of fish with that. There are a few other situations where you're +10, +11, and it's probably better to not enter into BGS. This one, though, it seems like, yeah, maybe you want to enter the bad Jaguar stance instead. Okay, down forward 3. 2 things. So this is also your like filler line, so you still have filler options like that. On block, it's -7 or -5 in this game. Okay, it should be super fucking linear. Okay, easy step. It should be easy step the other way. Whoops. Yeah, easy step. Now the benefit, of course, it's -5 on block, but on counter hit, it still retains its counter hit launching properties. Also, this is a knee, so same thing. If your opponent's going to go for a Sabaki, punch parry, you know, some sort of offensive defensive tool, yeah, it's nice that your down forward 3 is just literally going to eat them alive as they try to mash out. But yeah, down forward 3 does have value, especially because same thing. It still is a valid combo tool to link it in. But yeah, there you go. We'll get to that later. Down 3+4 3 is a shell of down 3+4 1. Which is unfortunate, so you have to have different combo lines. But yeah, down forward 3 has a place. Also, similar thing against a grounded position. Our down forward 3 should still effectively be meaty hitting. So let's go for like wake up 3 or wake up 4. Yeah, so if your opponent mashes out post GS, same thing. We can even go into GS with the 1+3 off of BGS. Same idea, down 4-3 after your opponent mashes, you instantly win, which is definitely nice to be on that side of the 8-ball rather, so. Okay, Frankensteiner, nothing really to talk about here. Same Frankensteiner that he's always had, same Frankensteiner King has. This is an S mid, so that means you can guard it while crouching. So even though it's a mid, like S mid, yeah, you duck it, duck the high, and then punish him accordingly. Completely inescapable. And then, of course, it shifts to that attack throw. It also technically does damage. But, yeah, that's going to be like taunt only at best case scenario. But, yeah, it's just the attack throw you're looking for. Your opponent wants to guard. They die. Same thing. 3+4 charge, similar idea. Except the difference here is that Frankensteiner doesn't actually break the floor, whereas the 3+4 charge does. So, keep that in mind. Okay, down 1-4 is a churn steal. It is, what, +6? Yeah, +6 on hit. On block, it is -10. But yeah, it's nice to kind of churn steal because you immediately crouch under it. Also, everyone's favorite when you hit them with it. Okay, so first of all, it's not NC, but NCC. So even if they get hit by it, the down 1-4 is not guaranteed. But everyone's favorite, GS buffer immediately after. You're left at +6, so it's a perfect frame break point for you to go for some sort of throw shenanigans. Yeah, but also now you can also perform it at a FC. Editor Tyler here. Might as well talk about down 2 since I forgot that it's probably important to mention it. On block it's -5 where we recover an FC and the opponent is in full standing. On hit we're +5 but both of us are left in full crouch. And then finally on counter hit it's +13 where wall stand 3-1 is guaranteed, leading to a heat engager and wall splat if the wall's nearby. Okay, blackjack combination. So down 2-4 by itself is -14. But if they try to punish it, the down 2-4-3 will interrupt them. So instead what you do is you 10 frame challenge the hit. Let's see here. We'll have them do punish. We'll do like jabs. And depending on your character or your opponent's height, some jabs go through him and some don't. Okay, sorry. He got hit because he tried punishing too early. So let's go ahead and put this on. But there you go. See, we get floated. Yeah, in T7, only a few characters could not jab him. I haven't tested the entire cast, of course, because the character's brand new. But that is one way. Otherwise, down 2-4 by itself, still -14, so our opponent can punish us. Now, the nice thing with down 2-4, and I thought I had read that he doesn't enter into FC and the Oki is different now, but in my experience, it's the same. So the good news is because down 2-4 spikes the opponent first before lifting him up, this actually allows you to be used as a 2-hit spin line. So even though the down 3+4 was a wall hit, we're able to link that in. Under certain scenarios, because this doesn't count as a wall hit, the down 2, it's a spike, this is your go-to 2 wall hit spin option. So there are stronger 1-hit wall options, but if you have a 2-hit like combo like down 3+4-3, same thing, you're going to want to use down 2-4. Editor Tyler here with a few more suggestions. We have 2-1 into a 50-50 on a ground throw, 4-3-2 into a CD4 ender, 1+2-2 into low slump shoulder, and finally immediate wall throw with 1+3 or 2+4. Please note that while it seems like it does a ton of damage, that this throw is scaled in your combos. Okay, down 3 is King's down 3 but better. So down 3 is +2 on hit. On counter hit is +9. Which is really good. Of course, this does not high crush, so they can mash out and beat us with jabbing. The nice thing, though, and it still is the case in this game, down 3 also still fully tracks. So if you think your opponent is going to step, yeah, you could just let the down 3 rock and still hit them and still be left at +2, which then kind of leads to the same situation, or turn steal, grabbing on 10 frame buffer, so on and so forth. Still a good option. Also, it does still hit the ground. Although there are, of course, better grounded options. But yeah, it does still hit grounded. So, not bad. It's probably one of the better lows. It kind of wishes, like Armor King probably, or sorry, Normal King wishes he had that variation on it. Now, what's important to note about down 3 and why you're probably going to see down 3 more often is that down 4 with Armor King actually got churned into a generic attack. So rather than being minus 13 on block and then minus 2 on hit, it's now minus 15 and also minus 4. So even though visually this looks like Armor King's down 4, it's not the same thing whatsoever. So what that means is like down 4, wall stand 2 is not really nearly as good a trap anymore, because at minus 4 you're doing a 12 frame. So that means your wall stand 2 is on 16. So your opponent mashes any mid 15 frames or quicker, they're going to cleanly beat this tactic. So this tactic is completely dead in T8, simply because down 4 again is now generic frame data, including the minus 15 part, which is really detrimental to his game. So keep that in mind. So for that reason alone, you're going to see way more down 3. Down 3 plus 4, 1. As talked about, lost its spin. You can also perform this out of FC by down forward 4, 1. So again, mid combo, it no longer leads to any sort of tailspin. On counter hit, we do cause the flop state, where same thing, ground hits guaranteed. But realistically, you're going to want to go for crouch throw mix-up or ground throw mix-up, because it's so strong for Armor King. We'll talk about it later. But yeah, that's a big difference, a big move that was changed for sure. Now, instead for spin, he now has a new extension, down 3 plus 4, 3. Same thing, can be performed at FC, FC down forward 4. There's the problem though, as you see, still minus 15 on block. And then furthermore, it has like really, really bad range. Okay, that's not going to be the best example. But yeah, like for instance, his old down forward 3 plus 4, 4 would hit there. Old down forward down 3 plus 4, 1 would hit there. So now down 3 plus 4, 3 is only going to be used for like specialty combos, early spin. Although CD4 is so much better to use. So it's kind of a shame they got rid of this. Now, the good news is it is NCC, so if you're by the wall, you have that. But at the same time, maybe better to go for, like I said, the down 3 plus 4, 1, which would also cause a wall splat, while still having better properties on counter hit, so on and so forth. So it's just going to be for combo filler now, or 50-50 to your down 3 plus 4. But yeah, I would say just don't think of it. Okay, down 2 plus 3 is his stomp. So the stomp on block is safe. It does hit grounded. And then as we have shown, that's going to be your go-to heat dash cancel. And with down 2 plus 3, if you want Oki while not losing very much damage at the same time. Okay, down back to 3, I-14 wall splat option. It no longer, or sorry, the down back to 4 no longer causes a spin. Instead, is part of an extension. So down back to 3 is NC, and as talked about, wall splat for full launcher. And then also this will be used for you know, a good amount of pushback as well at the end of your combo with a little bit of loft. But I think nowadays, I think the down back 2-4-2 option is going to be more frequently used. So it'll be for like a bigger combo sort of thing. Actually, let's go ahead and check that out. I don't know what I should go for. Yeah, big push away, non-wall splatting, but big push away ender sort of thing. Now, down back 2-4 is NC, but as you see there, it does not cause a wall splat. Also, the third hit is not NC either. And then furthermore, the full string is not NCC as well. Although, I guess at the same time, minus 12 for mid is not bad. Now, I believe the second hit, wow, the range is still really good for a 14 framer though. Yeah, so it is NCC from the second hit at the bare minimum though. God, that range is crazy good though. Similar to 3-4. Yeah, nothing special on the final hit. Okay, down back 3 is a stagger punish on block, so very punishable. Although it's right on the cusp of being invisible. Also, it's +6 on natural hit. It's a homing tool. High crushes on frame 6. But of course, the big purpose of it is the instant spin. Of course, it no longer causes a launcher that can then lead to a spin. Being a now instant spin will do damage potential reduction. But still, not bad. Good range. Pretty much invisible to most people. Online, this will be very hard to see. Going to be very frustrating to deal with. And then same thing, out of FC, like normal King, you can buffer throws, hop kick, so on and so forth, to complement the rest of the kit. But yeah, down back 3 is such a pivotal move to him that it's no surprise that he still has it. Okay, down back 4 is just a harder to see low. The nice thing Okay, so there's two things that are really nice here. So the first thing that's nice is that because he's jumping, the down back 4 cannot be actually low parried. So the opponent has to guard it. Also, as talked about, the guard, when you guard it, he doesn't stand up into -17. He stays on the floor at -17. So even then, it's harder to punish. Also, during this state, in the V206 patch for King, they made it such that he wasn't in a floatable state, such that certain combos or rage arts and things like that would hit. So if anything, this is now safer to go for with less chance of being fully launched for a pickup. So actually, it's pretty good. Now, at 29, it's seeable with air quotes. I can never see this move. I barely guard it as is. I'm lucky if I get this 50% of the time because the animation is so weird. And then he goes for the drop kick that low. So, you know, you might have more success with it, but it's still not a bad option, like, whatsoever. Okay, back 1-2. His, again, 12 frame option. This is a mid-high, or sorry, high-mid. On block, this is only -12 on block, so it's not that bad. On block as well, we can transition to BGS. But, yeah, you're obviously not going to want to do that unless you know the Punisher is coming. But even though +8, like, +8 Punisher is still really, really good. Not necessarily having to go for BGS where you get the more impressive mix-up, but still pretty good nonetheless. Hold forward. We talked about the meta already. Same thing. Take a look at the anti-bad Jaguar stance for the full breakdown of that, or early in the video when we talked about it. But yeah, BGS 1 if you think they're going to mash, BGS 2 if you think they're going to duck, or BGS 4+2 if you think they're going to do anything else. And then on top of that, he still has a million other moves to complement his kit. Okay, so back to 1-2 is not NC. It still is NCC. The problem is the back 2-1-2 no longer causes an instant spin state. So this is no longer a hit confirmable launcher. Now the good news is it still is confirmable. The bad news is that on block, the second hit is -12. And then furthermore, the final hit on counter hit doesn't have a launcher either. So your opponent can always challenge the -12. And as long as they're not by a wall, it's still effectively a safe attempt to go for it. Now, the good news, as you see there, I-13, again, hit confirmable I-13 wall splat is still nothing to sneeze at. Still not bad option, even at -12. So, of course, just duck the final hit. There is no mix-up to it otherwise. But still, hit confirmable. Otherwise, you'll have to challenge the second hit if you think your opponent's going to try to confirm it. Still a pretty good option, even without the launcher status on it. If I kind of want to say maybe back 2 on 13 is quicker than it used to be, so maybe that's the benefit. Okay, back 3. It is definitely a move. So instead of it being a long-range attack throw for Armor King, like it is with King, back 3 by itself is an instant spin launcher. And let me go ahead and try to show the max range. So if your opponent, like Heihachi, is 4-for-2, well, let's just back 3 it. And launch, like we're good to go. Like that easily one of the best long-range punishers in the game, and most importantly, it's I-16. So Death Fist, Demo Man, Heihachi 4-4-2, probably a few other things that I can't immediately think of. Yeah, it's nice having access to this. The issue, of course, being that it's a high, but same thing because instant spin also can be used by the wall. But yeah, on block. It is punishable, so that's the downside. So similar to Victor down back 3, Raven forward 4 with all these like long range instant spin launchers that are high. Yeah, unfortunately, Armor King also is -12, so it is punishable. But at the same time, this range is absurd, and having access to a instant launching I-16 that can punish things like similar like shoulder that other characters can't is so good. Okay, back 4, as we talked about. So back 4 by itself, again, is safe on block. If you hit them with good timing, the 1+2 is guaranteed. The nice thing is you always do this. So even if they're blocking it, you go for the 1+2. That way, if you hit them, you get them. I-15 mid, good range. And also still leading to attack threat tip. In this game, the down back 2 Oki is gone. So that's one thing of note. A little bit worse to deal with, but still having the safe toe kick into stunner is still really, really good. And as talked about, is going to be part of your meta at like +22 and stuff like that. Post heat engager +19 or +9 toe kick option is really, really, really good. So this move, easily one of the best moves Armor King has. Again, because of the range. because of the safety on it, because of the damage, and then follow-up pressure. It's still very, very good. Okay, back 3+4, brand new move. This is an I-20 homing mid. This is safe on block. Also causes wall splat. Unfortunately, against the airborne, it doesn't cause a strong aerial, which I'm very surprised about. But still, it's not bad. On counter hit, I don't think there's any bonus properties now. He just still kicks the shit out of you. Same thing. But yeah, if you're by the wall and you don't want to go for a forward one, which honestly is probably what you should be going for, you have the faster back 3+4 instead. That also does have good range because he does take the step forward when he initiates it. So I'm probably not giving this good credit. Like, there you go. So you can see the range on it. Okay, that's pretty fucking good. Nasty. So yeah, not bad. Safe homing, wall splat, natural knockdown. Nothing to hate about it. Really good option on list. Here we go. Up, back, one. Holy shit. Okay, so up, back, one is it lost the side sway component. The up, back, one lost the sway component. But it causes natural knockdown into shoulder, right? Under heat mode, churns into a launcher. Pretty freaking good. And then, oh, it doesn't talk about it. Oh, we can also transition to JGS by holding forward. Oh, weird, it doesn't say it here, though. So yeah, hold forward to transition to JGS, combo extension, so on and so forth, right? But yeah, on block, even without heat mode, does chip damage. It is +5, and then again on heat enhanced, +8. Same thing, +8 into JGS. Throw option, guaranteed, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I like how the up back is kind of flipping. I had never seen that before. That's tight. I'm gonna say I don't think mid combo this does anything. Okay, we're just way too slow anyway. But I'm curious. Okay, no. Oh, was that a strong aerial? Oh, it is. Okay, never mind. It's better than I thought. I mean, it's already a good attack, but now it's even better. Oh, okay. Still really good. It's weird that it doesn't tell you can transition to BGS during heat mode. Oh, that's why. Because you can only do it during heat mode. Okay. You got me, game. Okay, up back 1+2 is the side sway. This is -14 without pushback now. So actually, a significant nerf relative to his old one. His old back 1+4 used to have massive pushback, minus frames, but you're so far away that only Armor King could punish with like shoulder. But now this is consistently -14 side sway, similar to Paul's option. Now we do have the ability to charge it. Is that the next thing they're going to talk about? Let's see. Okay, yeah, we can't charge it, in which case red spark attack. So again, no parry, no sabakis, power crush only to beat it. On natural hit, it causes the flop state, where we get follow-up hit. And then under the effects of heat mode, of course, this does turn into a full launcher instant tailspin. Now, two things of note. So it is still highly evasive because he takes a sidestep while doing kind of like a small backdash. So it is pretty good. And then on... because it's up back, we can also perform this out of FC. So like for instance, we could go for like down 2, leave ourselves an FC, and then churn steal with up back 2 or up back 1+2 to churn steal out at our negative. So even though we're -5, we can take our churn immediately by going for like a side sway sort of thing while our opponent is left in full standing. So there is some tricks there as well at the same time. Okay, we have capital punishment. This is a low crushing jumping launcher. On block, it is +2. And then on natural hit, full launcher pickup. I don't know, let's do a simple combo like that. So he does technically hit the ground towards the later active frames. So you could technically hit him with the low very late. But for the most part, this low crush is like during the entire animation. And then also, again, the fact that it's +2 on block. So in certain like wake up positions, you can just go for it. And then they have to take incoming is pretty good. Now, if you hold the input, he'll actually transition to unblockable. That also has not full tracking, but will naturally realign with the opponent to still hit them the wrong direction. And of course, completely unblockable. So goes through power crushes, everything, defense, so on and so forth. I don't know if there's any kind of like wake up traps yet with the up 1+2, but something of note, yeah, he still has that. Okay, sorry, this is what I was trying to get at. So up forward 1 is his old down forward 1+2. Now the nice thing with it, this is, as you see, +4 on block. On hit, leaves us at a +11. Chi, of course. By the wall, turns to a splatting launcher. On counter hit, though, up forward 1 is a crumple stun launcher, which is crazy. Like, crazy, crazy, crazy. I guess technically a double overstun to DOS. Super, super good. Off a plus frame option that, again, because it's now down, not down forward 1+2, it's up forward 1. That also means you can perform it out of FC. Now, there is one other unintended effect that this might not be immediately available. So remember how I was showing how we can Waivu into wall stand 3? And we have the super long range I-13 knee attack that wall splats heat engager. We can perform the same thing with our wave option. Because we're canceling diagonally with up back 1 or up forward 1, we have the benefit of a Waivu mid that's also a double overstun launcher. Or we have a Waivu homing that's a natural hit launcher for the cost of heat. That's pretty good. So you don't even have to like Waivu anything into like a CD4, like be able to instant wall stand lines off of, you know, your Waivu timing, your wave dash timing. Just the fact you can diagonal cancel off of wave dash, so good. So good. Again, this move is absurdly strong. Up forward 1 is probably one of his best moves, even though it's not immediately apparent. This move is going to be absolutely fucking meta defining. Like, look at this range. Like, look at that. That's a counter hit launcher that wall splats and is +4 on block and is a double overstun launcher and can be performed at FC by up forward 1. What? This move is crazy good. Super good. Talking about a move that used to be incredibly good, Death Sandwich used to be Sidestep 2, but Sidestep 2 is now a completely new move. So instead, it's up forward 2-1. As we talked about, you could go for like Hop Kick out of FC, Wall Stand 1, which does 13 and 16 respectively. But up forward 2-1 is like your biggest launcher out of FC that doesn't start with a neutral Hop Kick. Of course, this is 15, so same thing. You can still perform this at a full crouch on 15. Nothing super special. Also causes instant bound line. Please note that the bound only works for the first hit. Otherwise, this will be a floor break option, but there's no combo extension. Against a mid-air opponent, this is only a standing punisher only for combo extension. So keep that in mind. But yeah, you can perform it out of up forward 1, up forward 2, up 2, or up back 2. I've kind of found some success with like sidestep buffering into like an upward stepping option. So you kind of have the pseudo death sandwich by sidestepping into up back 2. So you tap it and slide it. Like it's kind of there. I'm sure more tech will be found. Because keep in mind, I found this in like 2 seconds. There might be better tech found in the future, but for the most part, this is going to be your staggered low option if you don't want to go for a more technical neutral hop kick punish. Up forward 2 is pretty good. Also, worst case scenario, you're only minus 13, so it's not even that bad on block either. So could be worse. Okay, up forward 3 is mostly going to be used as your filler. You can perform it as up 3, up back 3, or up forward 3. It's all the same attack. Obviously, this is not a real combo. On counter hit, it still does lead to a launcher. It is an advancing knee. The issue with like up forward 3 and down forward 3, up forward 3 is technically airborne towards the later frames, but it doesn't actually really crush that well, and it's also 2 frames slower than down forward 3. So if you're fishing for counter hit, probably better go for down forward 3. Otherwise, similarly on block, I don't think it has like any tracking. Okay, well, it tracked there. Okay, so maybe it is situationally better than down forward 3, but yeah, the main benefit is just the counter hit component on it. And then, of course, the fact it can be used as filler. So in midair, it puts your opponent into like a rolling or flipping state. Not like a true sat option, but it does allow you to link in down forward 3 on 17. So it's not horrible. In older games, there used to be like up forward 3 into Shining Wizard combos. That's not the best situation for it. But that would be a rare occurrence realistically. But yeah, this is mostly going to be filler. Otherwise, if you're going to fish for an advancing knee, I guess it's better than nothing, the advancing component. But yeah, still, there might be better options to go for. Although there, I'm proving myself wrong. That range is still pretty good. Okay, up forward 4, nothing special. This is your hop kick. On block, your typical minus 13. It's a jumping JS9, 13 damage, I-15 launcher. Can be performed as up 3 or up 4. Up back 4, which does not have a launcher on it. Although up 4 by itself would. And then, of course, the advancing variation on it. Most of the times you use up forward 4, but there are certain situations where you would want to go for, like, up back 4. That way it's harder to punish, but, like, even then it doesn't have, like, any pushback relative to older games where you say, like, do a jumping, retreating kick. So mileage may vary. As you see there, retreating hop kick, though, is a counter launcher. The nice thing, yeah, on block, sometimes it can be hard for your opponent to punish it. This would be very character specific. I have a feeling like in T8 though, like every character's 10 frame is going to reach here though, at the bare minimum. And for sure everyone's 12 is still going to reach, or 13. So it kind of lost that, but okay, sure, as shenanigans, it's not horrible. Okay, up 3 plus 4 is a jumping option. This does hit grounded. Now, as talked about, up 3 plus 4, up back 3 plus 4, but more importantly, you can Ukemi when you hit the ground. Just please note that you see there is no combo extension to this. There's no follow-up hit. That's not a thing. It's just to, like, make yourself safer, sort of thing, because on tech roll position, invincible. Okay, I missed the frame, but yeah, you are invincible while you tech roll, so even though you're like minus 17, you're not really minus 17. It's just your attacks come out 17 frames slower. Now, with that being said, there are some more esoteric punishes where they can hit you during the final hits of recovery. I wouldn't worry about it. That's not a thing you're gonna have to worry about. Just you as the Armor King player, just understand that once you do the tech roll, it's no longer your turn if they block it. Okay, delayed hop kick. Yeah, I-23 option. This is usually for big stagger lows. This is typically the strongest launchers in the game. There are a few exceptions where you do more damage, but for the most part, this is your go-to. In older games, this should be safer on block, but yeah, in T8, this is minus 13. So it's your typical hop kick, just slower and deals more damage. Okay, 442 is actually a nice addition. So we no longer cause wall splat. Instead, we cause a counter launcher. And as shown, 3 plus 4, 1, 2, 3, and I don't know, meter pop will do, okay, that missed out there, but a similar idea. So that's going to be like, okay, safe counter at fishing to mix up like there, the 4 for neutral 2. I mean, I'd rather have a counter launcher than not have a counter launcher, so cool, you know. There are worse things. Of course, the wall splat loss is like the big one. Because yeah, this used to be like safe on block with air quotes, wall splatting option. So pretty good option. But now it's a counter launcher, so you know, fuck it, why not? Okay, 443 did lose its natural launcher status. Instead, is now more of your advancing homing tool. So +2 on block, chip damage option. Also, there's no more transition to Shadow Step, so we can't even transition to BGS by holding forward. So that's a little bit unfortunate. But yeah, this is just to lock your opponent down. At +2, down forward 4 on 12 will basically beat anything they mash out for. You can also power crush. Plus, you know, 2, same thing. GS buffer on 10, they go for anything. Any throw is going to beat them with the buffered +2. So you don't even have to go for even like the Blue Spark GS. Just straight up, like, you know, even Tombstone is fine. And QCB 1+2, like everything is going to win out in that position. So don't worry about it. But yeah, the natural loss is probably the big part about it. Although this should be still wall splat for launcher. Yes, it is. Okay. Okay, 4 for 4. We talked about this earlier. This is a -8 on block. This is a heat engager. And more importantly, it is a launching heat engager too, for full combo afterwards. Nothing to hate about it. It wall splats, so even if you're under the effects of meter, you still have that wall splat going for you. And still also safe on block. Pretty good option. Because you're doing the 4-4-4 input, the range on it is also very, very strong. Think of this move as like a Lee 4-4-3. Same thing. Haha, this combo is so silly. Whatever. Um, yeah, it really good. Really good. So yeah, I guess technically this would also be a 16 frame Punisher, but if you know that 16, back 3 is probably your go-to option regardless. Okay, 443+4 is just a simple drop kick. It does chip damage on block. The one everyone thinks about is actually the running exploder, which is its own chestnut, but we'll talk about 443+4 first. So 443+4 does break the wall. Safe on block. Well, -10, so I guess Steel Pedal probably wins here. The chip damage is like the main benefit. On natural hit, it just kicks the shit out of them, although we can't extend our combo. And then, as talked about, running exploder is like the big variation of this. So running exploder is +17 on block, although keep in mind, even though we're 17, it's 17G, so toe kick doesn't work here. For the most part, you want to either go for wake up 4 on 22 or wake up 3 on 22. Either way, you're completely safe on block. But yeah, never go for toe kick because wake up 3 is completely safe. The difference here, though, of course, at 17, toe kick cannot be low period, whereas running 3, or sorry, wake up 3 can be low period. But trust me, you'll get in trouble if you start trying to go for toe kick too often. So just take the running exploder instead. Now, the problem with running exploder, it doesn't do any chip damage on block. Now, the cool thing with it is you don't technically have to just go for wake up 3, wake up 4. Like, you could quick stand and buffer into a throw. So like one of my favorite traps is to buffer standing and then buffer in the a tombstone right away. And same thing, depending on floor positioning and floor break, you might get a full launcher. So that +12 allows us to go for it. Although keep in mind, not truly guaranteed because things take time to happen. So standing up takes frames, the input takes frames, so they technically can mash out. But it's a cool trap nonetheless, and you could buffer quite a few different throws off of it. In version 2.06 we talked about earlier, Exploder can no longer cause crossover, unfortunately, but also they've lowered the hitbox to be more consistent for use during combos to complement it. So a major loss to the throw Oki part of his game, but still better than nothing. Okay, 4 for neutral 2 is +5 on hit. If we go into BGS by holding forward, we're +8. So same thing, back 1-2, +8. 4 for neutral 2, +8. Same idea. Go, take a look at that, we talked about it. The difference here, though, so on counter hit, it no longer is a launcher. Instead, we're +12. So 2-1 is guaranteed for +8. Or we hold forward and we're +13. 1-2 for your 11 framer. The 1-2 is guaranteed only because the thing is BGS 2 is 15, so it's too slow to link in there. But 13, that'll be your go-to option. And I don't think there's anything else. I might be missing something. Hit me up if you can figure out the difference on +13 into BGS. But yeah, 1-2 is going to be your go-to option. Heat engager confirmable. Otherwise, just the fact that you can just take the +10 and have another +8 right after is still pretty nasty for sure. -13 on block, so it's not even that bad. It does have tracking problems, but he does get into a crouch state very, very quickly to high crush your incoming opponent's jab. So pretty good option. Lost the counter launcher, but still a really good option. Okay, Dark Destroyer is hit unblockable. I haven't figured out a way to link a combo yet, probably because nothing works. Because even though you're plus, you put them into that state where they're in that ground position, and usually nothing is guaranteed. Crouch throw attempt might be on the table, but I'm not sure. Now you can cancel it by holding down into FC. But yeah, this is unblockable. He's a little bit evasive during it, but not super evasive. So your mileage may vary. It's fairly linear still. I would recommend against it. Like for instance, CD3 is probably the better unblockable to go for, but it's okay. It could be worse. Okay, running 3, chip damage on block. Wall splat, natural hit. On block, +6. Really far away, but still better than nothing. The running 3 itself is on the faster end for a slash kick. 23, also the range on it is pretty fucking good for its speed. So nothing to hate about it. It's definitely not one of those like more floatier slash kicks that are easier to play around. Although it is still fairly linear, so you can sidestep it, especially in certain tech roll positions. Sidestep is on the table, but still not bad. Okay, we talked about running Exploder. If you're far enough away, You can do running 4, which is basically a low, not slash kick. Well, low slash kick, I guess, or slide attack. Although, I don't know if you can low parry, because I believe he's airborne during the attack. This is mostly just going to be for Oki, the cause knockdown. Yeah, like toe kick guaranteed. That's about it. It's not bad. It's better to have it than not have it, sort of thing. Okay, 10 string. He has 2 of them. For the most part, as if you remember, down forward 2-1 is a high. Third hit is a low. The rest of the string is basically negligible, because either A, you should duck the high, or B, you should duck / low parry the low. So I wouldn't worry about this 10 string. It's most of them are for gimmicks. This one especially, though, because the down forward 2-1 and down forward 2-1-3 are already kind of limiting for Armor King. Okay, I'm a little bit disappointed in his taunt. So he does have the 1+3+4, and if you've seen it, the animation off Wall Stand 2 also does that effect. The difference, though, is this is just purely a taunt. There is no dark upper extension off of it. So it'd be cool if he could taunt into dark upper, but no, it's literally just a taunt. You can't cancel it either. You're just parting on them. In older games, this taunt would also work as an anti-air, but I don't think it has the unblockable airborne state anymore. So yeah, he used to breathe into the air, and then you could technically hit them. I haven't found any combos where it's even feasible, and then furthermore, I don't think it is unblockable anyway, so. Okay, typical key charge. Wall stand 1, I-15 launcher. Hop kick is +23, wall stand 1 is +21. So the thing of note is like all these launchers lead to up 4-3, down 4-3. The difference is wall stand 3 does not have that luxury. So you do need a different combo for wall stand 1. But out of FC, hop kick up 4-3, down 4-3 still does work because again the frame data is slightly different. But yeah, wall stand 1 I believe is an elbow. So it can't reverse it. And then furthermore, on block, it is... Oh, -12 now. Okay, good. They finally nerfed it. I didn't test it because I figured they wouldn't change it. With that being said, this used to be I-16, now it's I-15, so it makes sense that this is now I-12 as well. Wall stand 2, I-12 option. On counter hit, leads to an extension, which they'll talk about. I think on block, I'm pretty sure this is safe, right? Yeah, -9. So not bad. So on counter hit, you could tap 2 and he does like a flaming dark upper. Although if you hit the, not really a true just frame, but the harder input on it. Yeah, he does a blue spark variation of it. So the blue spark does 2 more points of damage than the typical red. But keep in mind, again, this is a completely safe option. And then, yeah, whatever, combo choice. Again, don't do down forward 1 of your combos. Don't do like I just did there. But yeah, if you go for the harder input, you get 2 extra points of damage and you get the blue spark. I believe the combos are still the same. It just does more damage and looks flashier. And of course, you get the sound. Okay, wall stand 3-1. We already talked about this. I-13, heat engager by the wall leads to wall splat. Again, this is a knee attack, so you cannot reverse it, sabaki it. Also, as talked about, you could perform it during wave dash to get extra range on it. So pretty good. Again, for something that's only -13 is pretty good. The heat engager itself only leads to grounded hit, so no combo extension, but still pretty good nonetheless. And then as we also talked about, against a airborne opponent, kind of has some carry built into it. So if you hit him airborne, you might be able to get to the wall, but realistically not going to happen. But yeah, still super fucking good move. Easily probably one of the best Armor King's new moves. Okay, wall stand 4, +5, 20 damage, good damage, so causes that red spark damage indicator. I-11, good hitbox. The damage on the wall stand 4 is the best part about it. And then also, technically you can use it mid-combo for like, typical Mishima Weibu wall stand 4 that now complement like wall stand 3 as well, right? We also have the crouch dash wall stand 4 combos. Stab kick option, pretty good. Airborne hit, conversion, blah, blah, blah. Okay, full crouch down forward 1, or down forward 2, sorry. Natural hit launcher. On block, which is slow enough that he's going to let go of guard. On block, this is +1, so it's still our turn. Still pretty good. It's a mid, it's plus frames. It's a launcher. 23 damage, I guess if you have a stagger low, this would be the most damaging option because the neutral hop kick does 23, or sorry, 20 damage rather than 23. So I guess under certain scenarios, this would be your best Punisher. But for the most part, it's just going to be like force 50-50. Okay, am I going to go low or am I going to go for chop? And again, if you block my chop, I'm still plus. So it's still kind of my turn. So still pretty good. Okay, brand new move, Sidestep 2. Invisible low option. Oh, I didn't know you can perform it as back turn down too. I missed that part. Now, I don't think it does anything to counter it, right? Okay, +6. But still, +3 is still pretty fucking good. Now, out of curiosity. Okay, yeah, okay. Same property. Not anywhere as good as like, you know, Raven Shadow down 2, but that's fine. Still pretty good to have a brand new low option to complement his kit. Because again, now that generic down 4 is off the table, like you're going to have to get away from other options. Okay, Sidestep 4. This is a natural hit wall splatting option, although I guess it splats to the left. So you're going to have a good wall for you. Now, the good news, though, it's also a counter launcher. So this is the same animation as 1+2, 4. Although, there you go. See, it's completely safe on block, whereas 1+2, 4 is the -13. So, okay. Natural hit knockdown, wall splats to your left, and then on top of it again. The counter hit launcher. You gotta love counter hit launchers. Especially ones that are safe on block, right? What's not to like? Okay, he has your typical rolling options. There's only 2 things of note here. So, like King and like Eddie, he has back 3+4 off of FUFT, which is the quickest way to get off the floor. Otherwise, he also has the typical 3+4 line, which instead of being, you know, you see 22 here, 18, right? So significantly faster. 4 frames quicker is way faster, but of course, note that you are left in FC, or sorry, back turn. So you're worse than like launch punishable. You're like super launch punishable. So like Dragunov can like 1-3-2 you for a lot of damage, unskilled launcher. King can do command back throw instead of hop kick, so on and so forth. So it does have some downside. Okay, back turn attacks. He has BT3, which is a natural hit launcher. I-13, very fast but unsafe. And to complement that, he also has BT4. Let's see. I've not tested the frame data in this game, though, so let's check it out. 14? Yeah, so BT3 is still 14. And then BT4, -10, but with pushback, so it's going to be harder to punish that. Of course, by the wall, you have the value because the BT4 would then lead to a natural wall splat launcher. But, of course, the BT3 by itself, just being a launcher itself, is still pretty good. And, again, -14, not one of those frame datas you really have to tend to worry about too much, so still good. Oh, yeah, so this is different. So he has Moonsault, but he can't do it from forward-facing anymore. So in older games, he would take a hop and then do Moonsault. But now, he actually has to be into BT before he can perform Moonsault. I don't know if King lost his, or maybe this Armor King specifically. But interesting that, yeah, he has to be back turn to do Moonsault now. I blew my mind when I did that. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Huh, okay, sure. Yeah, of course, unblockable. Seeable, you can jab them to interrupt it. It's 41, so there is plenty of time for you to react and interrupt them midair. Again, it's unblockable. Don't try to power crush, because you will die. Okay, finally, we're up to Bad Jaguar. As we have shown, the Bad Jaguar stance does have a parry built into it. Important to note, though, that the parry only works on jabs, punches. So if your opponent goes for a kick, they'll go through it. So similar to his punch parry, which only beats punches, the Bad Jaguar has that same property. Of course, if we get the parry, throw guaranteed. It's a scale throw, but completely inescapable. For his options, so I will also, again, refer to the anti-Jaguar guide I made. But let's go ahead and quickly go over them. So 1-2, this is I-11 again. So this is completely NC. Bad Jaguar 1-4 is NC but doesn't cause heat engager, but the 1-2 does. Now on block, Bad Jaguar 1-2 is -12 versus the Bad Jaguar 1-3, which is actually +4 into BT. And that's how I discovered about the BT on, you know, the Moonsault. So right away we have a natural mix-up between 1-2 and then 1-4. Depending on the wall, you know, the Bad Jaguar 1-2 is just significantly better, because same thing, if you're by the wall, the Bad Jaguar 1-4 doesn't actually wall splat. Instead puts them into that ass stun state where we're plus frames and they're forced to guess. Usually you're going to see 1-2. 1-4 will have limited uses. Also, I don't think 1-4 has any property on counter hit. Yeah, nothing special. So you're really just looking at the 1-2 to link in at plus 11 into transition. Okay, 2-3 is both a spin option. So airborne pickup, spin pickup, so on and so forth. Also, by the wall, this does lead to wall splat. Because it's a high, it's safe on block. And then furthermore, the Bad Jaguar 2 by itself is also completely safe on block. So the nice thing, +8, they have to power crush the challenges or go for a parry. But then at the same time, we thread in Bad Jaguar 1-2 to mix it up instead. So yeah, we do have some pretty good options. But yeah, Bad Jaguar 2 by itself is completely safe. Also, it should be noted, the really nice thing actually is at +8, you can't even step it. So you can't sidewalk it left, you can't sidewalk it to the right. This is completely a free attempt. So the only way your character or opponent can get through it is by going for a power crush. And note, I say power crush, you cannot rage art that, because at +8 onto 15, the only way Rage Art would win would be on frame 16. So Power Crush activates on 7. So that's the 2 is essentially a safe attempt for you to go for. So it's pretty good. And then again, NC Wall Splat is further good. So to complement the high, he does have Bad Jaguar 2-4, which is basically Kings back 2-4. The difference here though is Bad Jaguar 2-4 is also -12 on block. Like the IGN guy said, you can kind of confirm it. It's like right on the cusp of fully confirm. If you're probably like really young, you can probably confirm this most of the times. Me, I'm a little bit more than random, so it's, I think, confirmable, but it definitely is harder than it looks. Please note though, the confirm is only off of Bad Jaguar 2-4. You can't actually confirm 2-3. 2-3 is too slow. That while it is NC link from the Bad Jaguar 2-3 by itself, you cannot delay the 3 at all. Can't confirm it. It's way too slow to confirm. So Bad Jaguar 2-4 is the only possible confirm. Bad Jaguar 2-4 for confirm, 2-3 for wall splat fishing. So just remember that rule. Bad Jaguar 3 is our Power Crush option. It does have strong tracking to Armor King's left, therefore the opponent cannot sidestep it to the right. With that being said, it only has strong tracking that way. So if our opponent does even sidestep to the left, they are able to sidestep it easily. Even if we go for the heat extension, Bad Jaguar 3-2, again, the 3-2 has 0 tracking to the weak side. So that's the best way to beat it if you expect the Power Crush. Otherwise, I think on block, I don't think it's that bad, but let's go ahead and check it out. Yeah, -13 isn't bad, and then of course under the effects of heat mode, the Bad Jaguar 3-2 turns into a +5 instead. Power Crush option -13 on block, and then furthermore, if you have the heat mode, it's even better, period. So what's not to like? Now, the one thing I didn't check, come to think of it, so with Fakamlam, you can confirm the extensions. Can we confirm this? Oh, no, we can't. No, yeah, you have to hit that button immediately. Okay, interesting. The nice thing is during this animation, if you get interrupted somehow, he doesn't do the 2 until the 3 completely finishes. So if your 3 gets interrupted, thrown, you don't actually pay for the beater until the 2 comes out. So that's pretty good by itself to have that, to be honest. Okay, Bad Jaguar 4. This is your low option, fully tracking both ways. Now at +8, you can hop kick it because the perfectly JS9s. But still, this is a nice complement. They Power Crush. We get the option where we knock them down and then go for either full down 4 route or the newer down 4 3+4 extension as well. So yeah, that's super good. Beats Power Crushes, and then best of all, only -13 on block. So we don't even have any major penalty on it, while we still have hard knockdown, counter hit, and then also anti-sidestep, anti-power crush, anti-parry, 1,000,001 things that are super beneficial. Only -13 is so good. So none of the risk, but with pretty good reward, all things considered. Okay, bad Jaguar 1+2, +12 on natural hit, which leads to a crouch throw. On block, we're actually plus, whoa, not that move. Don't hold forward. So we're +5, and best of all, he still retains the counter property, which is a launcher. So best of all worlds right there for sure to have the overhead dunk. Of course, because it's so slow, like everything wins. Oh yeah, we're cooked if our opponent sidesteps though. But again, it's so slow, and we're only +8 onto a 26 that there's plenty of time for our opponent to also mash and still win cleanly. So this is like if you know your opponent's going to respect it, or maybe forward on +2 into that, and that's a free attempt for the hit confirmable, you know, anti-crouching +12. But it's going to be hard otherwise to really get value. Okay, bad Jaguar, down back 1+2. This is a spear. This is also fast enough that you can't parry it or sabak it because he's doing a jumping attack. Now, strong aerial parries do work here, but that's the only thing that beats it. Otherwise, we fall on the floor, and we're negative, so we eat a steel pedal, but that's about it. Not that bad. And then otherwise, we transition to attack throw, where we get immediate 50-50 against our wake-up opponent. So, pretty good. Okay, we have 2 throws. Bad Jaguar 1+3, and then, which is a giant swing, and then bad Jaguar 2+4, which is a brand new throw. Against airborne, the 1+3 does give us the GS, which breaks the floor, and then similarly, or not similarly, the 2+4 does more damage, but does not have any ground break component into it. And actually, they talk about that the next options here. Now, the nice thing is, even though bad Jaguar 1+3 and 2+4 don't have homing sprites, you can't actually step these. So if your opponent tries stepping at -8, they still fully track. There's simply no frames to evade it, even at I-14. So keep in mind, these are slower than normal throws. So they still can't step it at this frame. So that's nice to know for sure. Okay, we have basically crouch dash called B-step. We have Shadow Lariat, which is chip damage on block. I believe it's +5? Yeah, +5. Now here's a bad nerf. In T7, if you're at this range, like kind of like range 2.53-ish, bad Lariat into down 3+4 would link for a launcher, but due to the Tekken 8 ground system, it no longer is a launcher. So instead, we just get a force 50-50 with like the chicken wing flip up, or the down back 2+4 instead, where we are left at +12. We'll get to that later, but yeah, that's all that's actually guaranteed now. You could go for like a stomp, but still, the force 50-50, depending on wall positioning, might be more valuable to go for. Oh yeah, one other thing about Shadow Lariat, because I'm sure people are curious like I was curious. Against airborne opponent, unfortunately, it no longer causes the opponent to slowly flip against you, which was like one of the biggest pieces of value about it. So you used to do a combo, and you would slowly work them to the side. I mean, right away you can tell he's not moving. There you go. So see, Jin is completely still on axis with us, so that means there's no more work their way to the side, spin them, and then go for unblockable. Yeah, those combos are completely gone. Instead, this is going to be your like really strong single hit filler, because like I talked about, up 4-3 works, but up 4-3 also does less damage. So the Lariat lines, the Dark Smash line, or I guess, or the Shadow Lariat, I think it was called, right? Yeah, these are going to be like your really technical combos that do more damage, but for the most part, if you're like a beginner player or intermediate, yeah, just do up 4-3, because like you're like, right, what are you're losing out on 3 damage, and like, see, even I'm dropping these combos. Just go for the up 4-3, and it never drops out. Like, just go for the up 4-3 line instead. You don't need the extra 3 damage unless you're like super advanced. Just go for simpler lines. Again, like T8 especially is just simplifying the game so much that you should just go for it anyway. Okay, so we have the Dark Smash, aka Dark Upper. This is I-14 at its quickest. Please note that this is basically a Godfist, so it is -10 on block. You can, like other crouch dash, hold the input for quite some time before doing the Dark Smash to launch them. But at its quickest, I-14 is going to be what you're going for. Also, if you can launch them with that, you want to do it because look at Dark Smash does 20 and Hop Kick again does like 13. So you're doing 7 more points of damage by doing the more technical punish. Editor Tyler here. You can actually link 3 Dark Uppers in a combo and actually forego the Lariat option as well. Okay, Dark Inferno. High unblockable. You can duck it, and then furthermore, you can cancel it by holding back. Yeah, so as talked about, this unblockable is not good. The Dark Inferno, you can catch people with it. Now, most players, especially after about a week, are going to remember they can duck this. The nice thing, though, if they don't duck it, it's a launcher. Like, we get a full launcher and Oki afterwards. Pretty good for an unblockable, right? Of course, you duck it, you launch it. But still, gimmicks that are going to be really, really strong, for sure. Okay, Knee Vault, CD4. Flop state, where we get Stomp guaranteed. By the wall splat option. It is completely safe on block. Also, it's a jumping attack, a knee, so no reversals or sabaki, stuff like that. Also, against an airborne opponent, is also a spin state as well. So this is, as far as I know, Armor King's strongest single hit spin, because he does have back 4. But yeah, there you go. See, the CD4 is doing 4 more points of damage. So if you have the execution, the CD4 is better to go for. Now, on counter hit, oh yeah, okay, nothing on counter. I was curious if they added like a CD4 property like there was with King. No, they did not. Poison Mist, 35 again. Throw guaranteed, nothing you do. Also can be performed by Bad Jaguar, 4+2, which is also 35. Cannot kill the opponent with the Poison Mist. And then furthermore, if you're under the effects of heat mode, it then turns into a 25, where again, the throw is still guaranteed. We talked about this ad nauseum at this point. Okay, throws. 1+3, just your typical homing, does not break the floor. 2+4 also doesn't break the floor, although you can cancel the 2+4 into the Jaguar screwdriver by down 1+2, which does cause a floor break. Now, if you look at the frame data, the Jaguar screwdriver is -10, but the normal suplex is +0. So basically what you're doing 3 extra points of damage at the expense of completely losing your Oki. So keep that in mind, that if you cash out the damage, it's not your turn anymore, it's your opponent's turn. So be very wary about that. But yeah, the floor break is nice. Also, if you need the extra 3 points of damage, yeah, down +2, finish the throw to guarantee that kill. From the side, floor break option, Valley Bomb, reverse DDT. And then from the back, he also has the quick DDT, which deals 60 points of damage because he's a grappler, so it does bonus damage. Down forward 2+3 is a command 2 throw option. It causes a floor break, and keep in mind you have to break that with 2. To complement that, he also has the new up forward 1+2, which is the old full crouch throw, which also breaks the floor, although it does 40 damage instead. DDT is not a floor breaker, but the Oki is pretty good. Also a 1+2 break. And then he has Tombstone Piledriver, which does really good damage. 53, and then break with a 2 ground break for launcher. He has Instant Shining, which is the Brawler Kick. Please note that the Oki is different. Like, see how he kicks you away. So you're plus, but you're not really plus because you're so far away. And then furthermore, against a grounded position, we have different Oki, where we can no longer go for the force 50-50 that King does with like down forward 4, down 3, stuff like that. And again, that's because the grapple type is completely different against an airborne opponent. So Oki is slightly different. He also has a forward throwing option. If you can't hit the Shining Wizard instant, he can do QCB 1+2, which also breaks the wall for a launcher. 1+2 break. Oh yeah, so also Shining Wizard is homing with heat, gives heat back. QCB 1+2, homing with heat. And then Giant Swing also is a homing with heat regeneration. And similar to the Shining Wizard, if you perform it the quickest possible, just like GS, you get the Blue Spark, which means it's harder to escape because it's faster with like air quotes, and then has the extra properties too. I think it might even do bonus damage, although maybe I'm wrong. Okay, he has Ultimate Tackle, where he goes Ultimate Punches, and to complement the Ultimate Punches, he also can do Armbar. You can cancel this Ultimate Punches into Armbar or do the Armbar right away. It's just a 50-50. He's like one of the only characters with an Ultimate Tackle still, and he also has extensions to it, so he's probably in the higher percentile of good options. Okay, crouch throw down 1+3 is 35 damage, breaks the floor. Or down 2+4, which is also 35 damage, but does not break the floor, although it gives you heat and gives you heat regeneration back. Remember, down 1+3 does not give you heat regen, so if you have the choice and you don't have a floor break, it's probably better to go for down 2+4 because it's going to give you some heat back, whereas this one does not whatsoever. Okay, so for grounded options, he has down 2+4, which is +12, and this is actually a real +12. So let's see, what am I going to go for? So if our opponent doesn't break out of this, they don't break out of the 2 throw, that means back 1-2 is completely guaranteed. And I did it too slow. Yeah, and then we go into bad Jaguar, for instance. Or similar thing by the wall. We can use that frames, that +12 to go for a throw attempt. Please note that the throw attempt is not actually guaranteed. Also notice how my throw only did 70 scale damage because he was -12 and I hit him on the 11 framer. So we do have a penalty because of it, but the opponent can also escape out of it. So for the most part, you're going to want to go for the back 1-2 into bad Jaguar. Just assuming you can hit the timing, because otherwise you're going to get yourself in trouble. So the mix setup, he has basically the seesaw whip, aka the flop. So that's a 1 breaker. The issue here though is that it throws them out of the corner, throws you into the corner, so be careful when using it. Most of the time, most people are going to break a 2 because the 2 is so much scarier than the 1. Because if you don't break the 1, you get thrown out of the way, you're plus frames, and you're fine, right? Your opponent's pressure, like the Armor King's pressure, is over, so you don't have to worry about it. The 2 throw, again, is where things get super spicy, so most people break 2. Against a head position, he does the kick away, which also breaks the wall. Flip over option, ankle hold, where you get Oki after flipping opponent. Keep in mind, these are all guesses. You can't see the difference between down back 1+3 and down back 2+4, so you just have to guess in this situation. So yeah, and to back mount for ultimate punches. Okay, Shining Wizard against Airborne. Does give you heat back, and then if you hit the just frame, you do bonus damage as well. Same thing with GS, heat back. And then the Oki's different. We already talked about the Oki line, down 4-3 after if you think the opponent's going to mash. Okay, brand new throw at the wall. If the opponent gets hit on the wall, you can either go 1+3 or 2+4. Note that this throw actually does pretty good damage. So it will go for this. And we do like, what is like 56? 50 damage. But if I was to go for the blue spark shining, I only did 44 damage. So actually having the wall throw is pretty good to end combos with for that burst of damage. Please note that the throw, of course, is scaled. And then, of course, the Shining Wizard gets the floor break. And then, yeah, we had to hit the just frame for the bonus damage. But yeah, the damage on the new wall throw, considering how easy it is actually pretty good. Okay, he has a chain throw game. So similar to King in V206, he can now perform the Victor, or the Cobra Clutch, rather, with a 1+4 or a 2+3. Or you can still go for the simpler input by hitting 1+3 or 2+4. So legacy inputs now work, or the new style inputs. So 1 break, I'm not going to go over all of these, but basically notice how you can do a simple version input or a more complex version input, which does more damage. It's the same with all his options. So if you don't know what to do, you can just like roll your fingers around your joystick and just do a cool combo. Or if you know how to technically do like the 3 count pound, like the more complex input, right? Chain throw, chain throw, chain throw. You get more damage. But yeah, if you don't know what to do, if you're brand new to the game, yeah, there's nothing wrong with not learning the inputs and just doing 1-2 mashing and have your opponent guess. So yeah, unfortunately, his chain throw game is not nearly as good as King's, because King has like 100 chain throws and Armor King, I think, has like 16, something like that. But at the same time, you know, as we talked about, Armor King is a brawler, not just a grappler. Okay, as we've shown, the forward 3+4 BGS can parry punches, and throws, again, are completely guaranteed afterwards. Otherwise, he has reversal, which reverses only punches, same idea. Does not work against kicks. He can cancel the thrust, the parry, by doing a 2, which is the same as wall stand 2. So on counter hit, if your opponent mashes into it, you get your launcher, and then you get to pick up afterwards. Same thing, if you hit the blue spark input, you get the better damage and stuff like that. It looks cooler. Typical low parry. So he has 2 stomps. So down 4/4, which at first I thought, 22 damage versus down 4/4, 3+4, which is 27. Like, why would you ever do the 22? It's because if you notice, this is a yellow effect, which means a ground break. So that means if you end your combo with a down 4/4/4, you break the floor and either get a combo extension or bonus damage, so on and so forth. Whereas this one, the down 4/4, 3+4, is still guaranteed, but doesn't get that cool floor break. So this is like end your combo with big damage. This one is like, okay, if I have a floor break, I'm going to end with the full down 4/4 route. Yeah, this is still launch punishable, so launch it if you guess it. So careful as Armor King if you're mashing down 4. Okay, and I think that's about it. We'll go ahead and just go over the combos one more time. So launcher, killer, and then afterwards you can do forward 3, down forward, and then 1, and then 4, 3, 2, 1. This, again, works on everything. And then end this, and then grab them. So forward 2 off a forward buffer, you hold the input, and then hold forward, and then hit 2+4 after, and Bob's your uncle. Super, super easy stuff. So, yeah, this, again, works on pretty much everything. Now, one thing of note. So if you go for this line, a forward 3, down forward 3, into lariat. So as talked about, you can't actually grab the opponent because they're too far away. Now, the secret, though, is while it looks cool to end your combo with forward 1+2 into, BGS 2+4, it looks cool. It's really flashy. It's actually not the most damage you can end with. If anything, you can just end with a typical Shining Wizard line and do more damage to the opponent by just doing a simpler combo. So you don't even need to hit that forward 1+2 into SAT. Now, the good news is if you have Rage, you're going to want to do that. 5, forward 1+2 into Rage again. But honestly, you can just do the normal Shining Wizard line and just do more damage. Now, hitting the Blue Spark is tricky because you have to wait and then do the Shining. So there is a little bit of catch there. There might be a better line to be found, like maybe after spin, up 4/3 into Shining, kind of similar to old Armor King in like Tekken Tag 2. I don't know. I barely explored it. The game's still brand new, sort of thing. But yeah, the combo's super, super easy. And then same thing. By the wall, either go for the down 3+4/3 into down 2/4/3 for Oki, or you could always go for like a CD4 again into full line for Oki CD4 afterwards. It's just whatever your heart's content. The Okis are slightly different. The timing's slightly different. Your pressure's slightly different. Who knows? There might even be other things to be found. Yeah, just do easy stuff with Armor King, and as time goes on, people will find more and more complex combo lines. Like same thing like that. That also works. So on and so forth. Instant spin, blah, blah, blah. And then one last time. So heat dash cancel. I'll just show this combo again. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. Oh, that's so cool, though. And then, yeah, there's a couple of different variations. So I know in the Namco footage, they showed like 1 jab into Shining. Yeah, if you have the execution to do like 2 jab, Shining Wizard, he has some combo lines similar to King, but for the most part, they're not as loose as King's timing. So mileage may vary. You might have to be really advanced to do that sort of stuff. So just a warning. Okay, if I made a mistake, please let me know at the time code that's that mistake. Again, this was the complete breakdown of Armor King. And then if there's anything else, yeah, same thing. Please let me know because I'm down to hear it. Okay, that will do it for me. Consider becoming a member. It's how I make my money on the channel. And I think will be about it. I will see you guys in the next video. Later on.